Hi everybody, Patsy here. How are you? I hope all's well in your world. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about my world of travel and how I managed to pack for 20 days in 20 ways with just a cabin bag. Now, I know packing a cabin bag is new to a lot of you, but let me tell you my story. For the last 10 years I've been travelling, or 8 to 10 years, with just a cabin bag, because prior to that, and I've done travel for over 25 years, I've been travelling internationally, I did what we all do, and I took your standard bag, your 24 kilos or your 32 kilos, depending on the weight allowance on the flight. Then when I started travelling solo or with girlfriends, which meant that all the luggage was our responsibility, the weight really became an issue. Not only that, I would pack just in case items, just in case, you know, we went out for dinner, just in case we went to the ballet, or just in case we wanted to be really smart and spivvy to go to a special restaurant for lunch. The thing was, though, you'd get home and unpack your luggage and find that less than half had been worn, and amongst that less than half, some things have been worn only once. And I thought, this is just silly and ridiculous. We really should be able to organise ourselves such that we can travel without taking so much with us. So what I decided to do was to investigate how easily or difficult it would be to find garments, or a garment that would be multifunctional, and I could wear it in so many different ways that all I needed to take were necessities and accessories. Remember that, necessities and accessories. The search went on, and I'll tell you a little bit about the results of that search later on. But what I'm showing you now are the necessities that I will be packing. I'll then go on to the accessories that will expand what I am travelling, and then eventually I will show you my travel wear outfit and how out of that one outfit I can show you 20 ways to wear it. So let's look at the necessities. Now, the necessities are not in any particular order. Your makeup, and I always take makeup that is, obviously I have my little trusty bag of under 100 ml, and my foundation is in that. Moisturisers, I take a small amount of my favourite moisturiser. I don't take volumes because of the weight, so I keep it as light as I can. And what I do, and the same with shampoo and conditioner and sun protection, I don't take either of those three with me. And my moisturiser, my large emollient moisturiser, I don't take either because it's quite large and I lather it on, so taking it in small containers doesn't work. So when I get to my destination, my first stop after I've settled into the hotel is to go to the nearest drugstore, buy a shampoo, conditioner and moisturiser, unless of course, and also sun protection, unless of course we look at the label and the brand of what's supplied in the hotel and we think that's okay to get us through. One little tip with shampoo, it is all detergent based. It depends on how expensive the additives are, the natural additives that they put into it that inflates the price. Now, so that's our makeup. We've got a little bag full of our necessities as far as medication is concerned. We take a little clutch bag to get us through an evening, for anything we're doing in the evening. I always take a couple of these, and my theme for this segment is navy, that I'm travelling in navy. This is my little tote bag, which is a little drawstring bag that you take to the beach, you take it shopping, or you just keep it in your little over shoulder bag while you're walking around, because you know you can fill. Easy to fill, easy to collapse up. It just wriggles back into its shape. I won't worry about doing that right now. Okay, face mask. Important that we take face mask, several. That's just one example, but take a few of those, because I don't care what is going out in the world and what restrictions there are, my face mask will be on 90% of the time, except when I'm eating and drinking probably. Now, this is a little something that I haven't seen anybody else talk about when they're talking about cabin baggage or any baggage. Panty liners, girls. the little mini panty liners to sit in your knickers. They will keep you fresh and feeling nice and comfy, and they'll also protect your knickers. If you've got a 20-hour flight and you can't change your knickers, you do this instead, so it works really well. Okay, so we get to there. Now, the other thing is with the hair is we all use, well, I do, use the hairdryer in the hotel. I don't take my big voluminous hair dryer with me. My hair is as it is, and I take these trusty little tongs. Aren't they cute? Bought them online. They're under 40 Australian dollars, little cheapy ones. They heat up. I can just do the little front section, a little bit at the back, and they're done. Sometimes I'll put in a couple of Velcro rollers as well and put 2 Velcro rollers up here while I'm using the hairdryer, and then this does the sides and then the volumes there. Just little tips from a lifetime of experimenting with things. So see if you can find a pair of these online. You should treat your holiday as a planned holiday, not only your accommodation, your day tours, your domestic flights internally. You should treat and plan what you're taking with the same research and involvement, and make sure that you've got everything covered. Now, everything covered is shoes, and I've made the mistake many years ago of taking up to 8 pairs of shoes for every just-in-case situation. So, you know, a little pair of stilettos, a little pair of slip-ons, a little pair of ballet flats, walking shoes, beach shoes, and, you know, the list goes on. Now, I travel in a pair of walkers, and aren't these divine? The reason I love them is because of their comfort. They're very well cushioned inside. They've got a zip rather than lace up. And they're a little accessory. I mean, I'm sure they attract attention because of their colour, but why not? And they blend, they're neutral. And they're called EOS. So look online, and if you've got time to plan your holiday, plan to get a pair of EOS. They come with a little ankle style. They come in varying colours. I just love this one. And shoes, continue. Okay, I'd have those on as my travel wear. Then for my dressy up for evening or for lunch or whatever, or even to wear all day because they're so comfortable, I go for bear traps. Bear traps are made in Italy. They are very light. They're a wedge, and we all know how comfortable wedges are. They come in a number of colours. I've actually got white, I've got black, and I've got a sort of a tangerine orange, and these are the pewter ones. The pewter ones I think are more versatile than any of them, or the black, but they become my evening shoe. And they are unbelievably light, and they're called Bear, B-A-R-E, traps. So look at those, they're worth investigating. Then my third pair of shoes, and they're hardly shoes, are what look like a little sandal, but they're actually made of neoprene or polyurethane, whatever the fabric is, and the same as like a wetsuit, and they're designed to wear in the water. And if you're traveling in the Pacific, you know, a pair of thongs will get you through, or flip-flops, but not in the Mediterranean where you've got cobbled, crushed shells, little pebbles on the beach. There's no sand, and it's not comfortable on your feet. This will get you through because you can't really swim in them, they'd flip off, but you can walk. I walk up to my thighs in the water, and I keep these on, and they're comfortable, and then I just keep them on for the rest of the day until I get back to get another pair of shoes on because they look like sandals. Worth looking at. They're DKNY, Donna cut in New York, but I don't think they're still available. I've had them forever, but they just come out every time I travel. But look into something like that. The next thing is I always take a little jewellery, and in here I've got sort of the after 5 glitzy bits. There's a little bit of weight, but not too much. But if I'm concerned about weight, I don't take all of that glitzy stuff. I take other kind of costume bits. Not that that isn't costume, but I invest a lot in neoprene. The lighter the weight, the better. And accessory, jewellery, look at me. Take it all off when I go through security, but I'm covered for anything. Now it's time to talk about undies. And let me tell you, I have a secret when it comes to travelling. If you're going for 10 days, 15 days, you don't take 10 or 15 pairs of knickers, or even 6 pairs of knickers. You'll have one on, one off, and one in the wash. We know how easy it is to launder a little pair of lacy knickers, so see if you can find some little lacy ones. You can hand wash them each evening, roll them up in a towel in the hotel, squeeze it all out, hang them up. They'll be dry in the morning. If they're not quite dry, hairdryer does the trick. So I have one on, one off, and one in the wash. My mama taught me that. So they're my 3 pairs of knickers. I have a little viscose. I love viscose. I have a little viscose snug fitting little cami if it gets to be a bit of a cool day and you're wearing a shirt and you want something underneath it. So that dries instantly. And then currently I'm wearing a strapless bra, and then I take 2 other bras. So that's 1, 2, 3, one on, one off, one in the wash. And I usually just take 2 pairs of socks, and that's only when I'm wearing my walking shoes, the little half socks. So remember that underwear trick, it really does work. And then when we come to accessorizing, we accessorize with scarves, and they're as light as can be. And by the way, everything I'm showing you here will go into individual little sacks, little capsule sacks, because that's how I pack. And I pack according to, like, one's, as you see now. I don't have to go explain further, but I keep them all individual. Pajamas. Viscose again. I love a night dress. So I've got my little spaghetti strap night dress. I've got it in 2 colours, black and blue. Doesn't matter how you wear it, what colour you choose. However you go to bed is your business. But what I want to show you is something that I haven't seen anybody else recommend, but I recommend, is that you purchase a silk pillowcase. Just make sure you take it off each morning and put it back in your bag for fear of the cleaning staff, you know, moving it with all the linen, the bed linen. The advantage of a silk pillowcase, and silk, ladies, not synthetic, but silk, is that your hair, you won't wake up with like a bird's nest from tossing and turning because you're slipping. It's lovely to sleep on, and you'll get extra days out of your do before you have to sort of wash it or spend time on it. So a silk pillowcase, and particularly if it's something you use at home, it kind of makes you feel a bit homely, lovely. Okay, then when it comes to beach wear, I take 1 pair of bathers for doing laps, because I try and get a few laps in if I can for exercise while I'm away. And I take another little one that's sort of, you know, like a little pose piece. Isn't it cute? And nice bright colour. And then you find a sarong that kind of has the colours in it, and that kind of brings it together and looks great. And I'm going to show you a little bit later on, because I'm going to continue on with these tips and tricks. I'm going to show you what you can do with your sarong to make it just a little bit different. Okay, thinking of beach wear, thinking of sunshine, sunglasses. For those of you that have spectacles, I recommend, if you have time, to either have your prescription lenses that you've got now altered and changed, or if you just go and buy a cheap pair of frames and get your optometrist to put your prescription lens in and have the transitional lens put in, which means that your glasses or your spectacles are also your sunglasses. They're on your face all the time. There's not the risk of losing them. I haven't bought sunglasses for many years. I often buy sunglasses while I'm traveling, as I did with these beautiful Italian ones. And when I get home, my beautiful optometrist takes the sunglass lens out, puts my transitional lens in my multifocals, and I don't think I've had these off in 2.5 years. I could have sold them 1,000 times because they're an accessory. And for those of you who've been following me, you'll know that my philosophy is, when your body goes into demise, don't worry about it, darlings, just accessorize. You accessorize and people are attracted to the glasses, the bag, whatever it is you're wearing that's kind of pizzazzy, and they forget to look at the body that's a bit aged or whatever. So accessories, remember, necessities, accessories, 2 different things. Okay, then we're going into the hats. Always take a cap, love a cap, good for the sun. Remember your sunblock when you get there. When you get there, you must buy your 50 plus. This is my trusty little beach hat, which I love because I can dress it up. Now we've got the scarves here, for instance, and I can be wearing, I don't know, little pair of shorts, navy t-shirt, pop my hat on, put my little scarf around to create a little bit of a hat band, squish it all down, pop it on, and then you've got a different look. It's really good. Now what I do when I'm packing this, and you've got to be careful on the type of hat you buy, whether it can cope with this, I just flatten out the brim, fold the crown, and that's how it goes in the outside pocket of my bag. And all I do when I arrive, if it looks really squished and bent out of shape, I put it on my head and I get the hairdryer as hot as I can stand it, leave it on to kind of get the mold of my head back, and then I take it off and I heat it around the edge with a hairdryer and roll it. And look, honestly, if it's a bit out of shape, doesn't matter, it still looks fine. And then we get to the last of what I've got on the table, not of what I've got in total, that I take with me. I've got a very lightweight shirt. I'll show it to you. It's a very lightweight shirt that I can wear buttoned or unbuttoned, and it is a very, very fine cotton. If you can go hunting for fine, it's almost like Swiss handkerchief cotton shirts, and they're in varying prices, so they're not overly expensive. That will get you through because it's lightweight, but it covers you. So it covers you for sun, it covers you if you're worried a little bit about your upper arms. A shirt is always good for that. What I've also got here is a little tank top, which I'd put underneath the shirt because it's a tank top. And I've got a little viscose t-shirt, which is in like a creamy white, which I love as well. It's very soft on the skin, but I wouldn't put it necessarily with that. It's not quite white enough. A little navy t-shirt and a little plain white t-shirt. The tank top, the navy and the white are all cotton, which is fine, but it doesn't dry quickly. This little devil, I've got to get more of them, can't remember where I bought it, is again viscose. It's breathable, it's light, fabulous to wear, and it would dry overnight in the hotel. So go looking, see if you can find some viscose in t-shirts, because it's actually plant-based viscose, so it's a great sustainable product to wear. So we've kind of covered all of that, but what you have to realize is that when you are planning to be a cabin bag traveler, you have to research each airline that you're traveling with. So you might travel from home to your destination with one airline and then domestically within the country that you're staying. You need to research really closely the weight restrictions on baggage. Now, when it comes to cabin baggage, the weight includes the bag. So the contents is one weight, then you add the bag. You've got to make sure it's still within that weight allowance that you're being instructed to use. And if you find that you're going into a domestic situation and travelling domestically, it'll be a different weight again. So you choose the lighter weight as your optimum weight when you're using a cabin bag. Now, I just want to show you my little cabin bag. It's not expensive. In fact, I think I bought it at a marketplace where they had lots of luggage. I've been travelling with this for 4 years. I've never had a problem. Its little innards are very similar to every other cabin bag. You've got your pouch here, you've got your little straps to hold down, you've got your outside pocket. Now, what you've got to realise that every cabin, well, not every cabin bag, but most of us like our cabin bag to be on wheels. So when you bring in the actual structure for the wheels and the handle, etc., there's a lot of weight. This is all plastic. Now, I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world. It's not, because it's not expensive, but who cares, because it's with you all of the time. It's not going to be with a baggage handler. It's not going to be kicked around. It's not going to be damaged in any way. And over and above everything else, the whole contents remains within it. So you haven't got that fear of, oh my God, I hope somebody didn't accidentally, light fingers, etc. Won't happen, because it's with you all the time. The next thing is to talk about whether or not the airline also has a stipulation that your cabin bag and your shoulder bag are all part of that overall weight. We have one airline in Australia that does that. It's 7 kilos, and it includes everything that's over your shoulder. So you've got to bear that in mind as well. With that in mind, I'll show you just a little trick. This is my favourite little crossbody bag, and it takes so much. It's got my phone in it, it's got my passport, it's got everything, but it's leather. It's not light. It's beautiful. Love it. Bought it in an airport many years ago. It's great. But you know what? This little fellow does exactly the same thing. Again, bought it at a marketplace. It's got all the little pouches. I've got it in several colours, but because I'm looking at a navy theme now, that's the bag I'll be taking. And everything in here will be transferred into this spot. So again, go shopping, research, try and find things that are light, because the difference between that could make the difference between having all my cabin bag put into check-in. And then, of course, I've got my beautiful, big, slouchy, lightweight bag, and I've never had a problem boarding the flight. Actually, there's two. I'll be very quick. And I board the flight like that, with my cabin bag, and I've never had a problem. Now this bag is fabulous. Look how big its mouth is, if that's a wanted description. I always take a little tiny little, not tiny, but a drawstring tote because I shop. I try not to, but hey. So what often happens is, and there's little pouches everywhere in this. It's got zips, it's got pouches. You can have it with the short handle that kind of conceals the inside pouch here. You've got an outside pouch there. It weighs nothing. So when I board the flight, the only thing that would be in this, I'd have this little bag over here, and then I'd have this, oh, I always take the shorter one by mistake. I'd have this over my shoulder, and in that would be my iPad and any kind of paperwork revolving around the trip or anything, just bits of nothing. I'll probably put some of my makeup in and my little plastic toiletries so I can get them out quickly to show everybody. So, not everybody, it's security. Probably 1, 2, 3, I'll probably take those little things there, which is my medication, my little 100ml bottles, and maybe not all my makeup, but some of it. So that's in there. And I've never been asked because it's not a big bulky thing. It's big in size, but the reason for it is coming back, I don't care if my luggage takes 5 days to reach me at home. So coming back, I stuff this little bag beyond its weight. It's got a little zipper in it, so it'll bulge out a little bit more. And I put all my heavy bits in there. And then I have very little left, and I stuff it in here, which enables me, the little bit of shopping goes between the two. So this then becomes my cabin bag, a fat version of, and that becomes my check-in, because checking in on the way home, not a problem. If it gets lost, at least I know it's in the country that I live in, rather than God only knows where. So that's a little tip that I give you as well. Lightweight. This one, love it. Okay, I'll pop that there for now. What I'm going to show you now is a few of the extra bits that I'll be taking with me, and then I'll be showing you how I transform. I'm only going to show you, I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to show you one. Look how light. Whew. Light as a feather. Everything I take is light. There's no weight in anything. A couple of pairs of little pull-on shorts. I shan't be wearing those to demonstrate, but I'll put them there anyway. Gorgeous little pair of cotton linen blend, easy to wear, loose pants. Gorgeous shirt that is a shirt and a jacket. It has pockets in the side, love it. And then all of these other little bits and pieces that take a drab outfit into fab outfit to wear at night. I've even got a couple of extra things that I may not put in, but I'll show you anyway. And one is a little dress. Weighs 120 grams. I just dress it up with some jewellery. And this little fellow's 100 grams. That's nothing, girls. And he's got a little cotton, or she's got a little cotton underslip. Bit of fun. Wouldn't wear it at home, but always wear things on holidays that you don't wear at home. And then a little pair of very lightweight evening pants. I may not take all of this, but I'm just showing you the options. And then there's a scarf, and then there's a gorgeous wrap to match what I'm wearing. But next I'm going to show how I add all of these things to it to make it absolutely fabulous. It's exciting! To see more amazing CADARRA styles and how to do it, how to achieve those amazing styles, click here.